Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Gal Swisa Cohen, and on today's episode of The Israeli Bond on hmTv, my special guest, Aviv Lapid, will join me for a conversation about her personal story from October 7th and the life in Israel afterwards, as evacuated or displaced family, and how it affected her years in high school. This is actually our second episode together. In our last episode, Aviv shared with us how was it like to grow up in Sderot, a city that is bordering with Gaza and basically is affected all through these years with many missiles shot at her. If you haven't listened to our previous episode, I highly recommend you to listen to it after this one, because we had a fascinating conversation and I think you can learn a lot from. So Aviv, I'm gonna dive right in. Take me to your experience from this October 7th, from morning.
Okay. So let's take like a few minutes before 6:30. I was sound asleep in my room. My room is right next to the bomb shelter we have in our home. Every home in Sderot must have a bomb shelter. And in our home, it was my parents' bedroom. And my bedroom was like right next to it. So I was sound asleep in my room. And then we heard the Tzeva Adom, the red alert. And just like the fastest you can, I got up and I ran into my parents' bedroom.
As you did so many times before in your life.
Yeah, exactly. For me, this situation is nothing to be panicked about. You just need to get into the safe room and wait it out for about like 10 minutes. Let them get all the anger out, and then like I will just like step out of the bomb shelter. I will continue to sleep, and maybe later like we will leave Sderot and then like we'll go back. Like it's a normal, usual. Well, it's not normal, but like it's something that have happened before, and I believed will happen more times as the years will come. But we stayed in the bomb shelter, and 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, and nothing is changing. The alert is renewing and renewing, like constantly. There's missiles, and like at some point I understood that there's something unusual about like this specific time.
Do you also hear like a boom?
Yes, many bombs. Growing up in Sderot, by the sound of the bomb, we know whether or not it was a missile the Iron Dome got rid of, or it was something that fell inside the city. We could like actually differentiate, and even like a bomb the Israeli army, the IDF, is getting into Gaza, we understand, we can differentiate between those sounds.
Which sounds did you hear on this October 7th morning?
Many sounds of rockets inside Sderot. Not a lot that the Iron Dome is taking control over. We understand that it's unusual, and the IDF maybe is not like 100% like on the mission to protect us. And then at some point we get messages from the mayor of the city that you need to stay quiet in your home. There is terrorists in Sderot. You need to shut the lights. You need to turn the windows off, lock the doors, and stay in the bomb shelter.
Had it happened before in your life?
No, never. I never imagined a scenario like that, not even in my wildest dreams. I never thought about this scenario. Like, people have asked me, like, is it something that scares you? Like a scenario, maybe like terrorists will invade the city? But it was never an occurrence to me. I was like, no, they're behind the border. Like, it's a crazy scenario that's something like that will happen, and the IDF won't take care of it like right away. Like, it was it really, really caught me like off guard. It was a very, very scary experience because throughout the years, we were told that our home and the bomb shelter are the safest places to go to. This is like the place where we found like refuge and security. But now even this place is not even not enough. It's like an actual target that people know you're here and you're actually in danger being in the bomb shelter. It's like an upside down experience that, wait, is it okay? Is it safe for me to be here right now? Not even that is like where you're safe. It's a very, very scary experience, obviously.
Yeah. Have you heard about, like, sitting in the shelter, have you heard about other cases in the Sderot that people went into houses? Like not people, but terrorists broke into houses?
So while October 7th like is happening, when my family, we don't like listening to the news and watching the news very much. We didn't know while we were in the shelter what was going on in other places. We didn't really understand the full situation. Later, I can tell you that in Sderot, it had happened like a few instances of terrorists getting into houses, but it's not like the main thing terrorists were instructed to do in Sderot. In Sderot, Hamas terrorists got the orders to roam the roads, shoot people who were outside, and the target was the local police station. There was a very heavy fight over the police station, which is like 5 minutes away from my home. It's a small town. Everything is 5 minutes away. So it was like close to me. But we didn't know whether or not like terrorists, like they might as well like go into my house. Like nothing would have stopped them. Like they just decided not to do that at that day. But we did hear there were constant rockets throwing at us on October 7th, but we also heard gunshots. Some were further, some were closer, but we did hear them alongside the rockets that were like constantly like thrown.
And all this time you haven't opened a TV, you haven't communicated with the outside world.
We did communicate, like I messaged my friends and stuff. Like I knew what was going on. I knew it was not only in Sderot. We did not know like the details of like what other things like happening. I saw a lot of people that I know that are missing. You cannot find them. All those people in my communities, like fathers of people I knew, like cousins, like really a lot of people from the community were like posting about this person that is very dear to them, that is missing, that they cannot reach them. It was a very scary time even to open like my phone for escape. What we did like most of the time, we have a TV in my parents' bedroom in the bomb shelter. We watched movies. I remember being most of the time asleep. I napped, I think, 3 times that day, and then I had to wake up and message my friends that I'm okay. I just took a nap, like I'm not responding because I was sleeping. But a lot of people reached out to us, asked us if we're okay, like what's going on, like offered any help that they can. And one of the helps people offered us is when this situation is like de-escalating, you should go get hosted in our place. We have a vacant apartment for you to stay there for the while.
Like escape.
Yeah, like escape. We planned where we will go once like we will get out of Sderot on October 7th. I don't think we grasped the situation because we didn't really think for how long will we pack. I remember packing for about like a week, even less, thinking that, okay, I'll just like do laundry. And then like after 2 weeks, a month maximum, like I will go back to Sderot and it will be okay.
Because this was something that you were used to.
Yes, it's something that we are used to, that something is heated up between Hamas and Israel. and it's not very possible to live in Sderot at the moment, so we will pack for a few days, and we will either go to my aunt or my grandparents or like a family friend, like for the time being, and then like we'll go back and it will be okay. We're just like escaping the noise for a few days. That was the vibe that led us.
So you thought, so during this day, even though you've heard all this code red and you realize that this is something that is a little bit different from other times.
Very different.
Very different. So what was like, so, and then your parents decided, okay, let's pack a bag to run away.
We packed the bag like before we even realized something was different. Like 6:30, we were like, okay, pack your bags. We will go the moment like it will get better.
Okay, so
like
this was a routine.
Yeah.
So every time you had this like sirens going on.
We expected going like 10 a.m. outside of Sderot, October 7th.
Just because you were so used to it that this was like the regular practice.
Yeah.
So you already had like your bag packed because this was the practice of missiles or code red or whatever that you had along the years.
Yeah.
But this day was different. So you packed your bag, and then what you did?
So as I said, we packed our bags like around 7 a.m., October 7th, like half an hour after it started. We were ready to go already, but we couldn't.
Why?
Stayed because terrorists are in the city. The IDF only came around like 5 p.m., and it was just not safe for us to go out. We constantly got messages from the city to stay in our homes, shut the lights, shut the windows. We just could not get away.
So not only that it's not safe in your house, it's basically also not safe to escape because the streets are also not safe.
Yeah, exactly. We escaped around October 8th, around 12 p.m.
So more than a day after.
Yeah, around 30 hours, yes.
And you escaped because it was safe then to go out and like leave the city?
No, so because Sderot is not a small town and not a kibbutz, the community is not around 100 people, it's around 30,000 people. The procedure of getting evacuated from a city is way, way, way different than a small town. That's very easy to just like get in there, get all the people out. Like it's much, much bigger. So around October 8th.
So you're saying it's a regular procedure. So the country of Israel. No, okay.
It's not a regular procedure to help that the army is helping the people to evacuate. It's not a situation people ever handled before.
Yeah, but there was like a procedure of how you evacuate the city.
Yes, whenever there is like a heated situation, whenever there's an operation, the country usually offers hotels to stay in or any help for people who are escaping for a while. Even I think we saw once like huge discounts of like flights to Cyprus or Greece. We really, really wanted that, but at the end, like we didn't do it. But like the country really, really helps the people who decide to move away for the operation. So the country did know how to handle like about like 1,000 people, 5,000 people in hotels that the country will pay for. Not this big, and also like it was an operation, an army operation to get the people of the Gaza envelope out.
Because there were still terrorists in the city.
Yeah, because at some point, like as I said, around 5 p.m. the IDF came and decided to deal with like those terrorists. However, it is a hard procedure to get rid of all those terrorists. At some point, they decide to hide. You need to look for them. It's a process that takes like, it won't take 2 hours and then it's all over. Like it takes a few days to get the city cleared out.
But you decided to escape while it was still not safe.
Yes, exactly. So around October 8th, we still got messages from the city to stay in our homes. The IDF is here, but they're still checking around for terrorists. But it's like, as we said, it's like a long procedure. We cannot be locked in our home for 4 days. Like at some point, like we got the decision to not listen to the messages that the city gave us, and we decided to pack, and we decided to leave on our own. No one helped us to go. Like we were supposed to stay in our home, but we just decided to go out.
So your parents decided. How did you felt about this decision?
I didn't really like this decision because I felt like it's not safe yet to go out. But I understood that this is like a hard decision to take. And I help with whatever I can. So we packed our stuff into the car. We got our cat, our dog, like everything. And we got into a car and we decided to drive out of the city.
Where did you went?
We went to a kibbutz called Einat. It's a kibbutz that's like 30 minutes away from Tel Aviv. And yeah, we decided to go there because family friends, they offered us an apartment there. We were actually debated between going there and going to a kibbutz in the very north of Israel that afterwards got evacuated. So we got a lucky decision. And we drove there. The drive was very scary for me. We were constantly like on the lookout on the roads, like for something suspicious or anything like that. I remember there were many vehicles of the police and vehicles of the army. We didn't really see anything like that. And also like a lot of the mess that happened on October 7th. I'm saying mess, but like all the bodies and ruined vehicles and things like that, they were already cleared at the time. So we didn't really see a lot of those. And we decided to go into this different place. And that's basically the day that I stopped living in Sderot. I didn't know it at the time, but we decided to stay in central Israel until I graduated from high school. And my parents are still in central Israel. They haven't gone back to Sderot yet.
Okay, that's a huge thing. I believe that when you just moved at the first day, you didn't know that you were going to stay there, right?
Yeah, I thought that by February or March, like I'll be back in Sderot, being back into my school.
February, it's like 6 months after, something like that. So you understood it's going to take time.
I understood it will take time. I didn't understood like how long. It took way, way, way longer for things to get like more normal than I thought. But even then, we decided to stay in central Israel. Basically what happened is we got like our home there, and I think like 2 months later, me and my parents together, I chose to go into a school in central Israel.
So basically, you were evacuated, and your school and everything was in Sderot. So you needed, after 2 months, which is a long time, right, to be without school and not like...
Especially when you're in high school and there's like tests that needed to be done and things that needed for me to get my diploma. It's a lot of time wasted, basically.
Also, your friends. If your friends came with you to this area?
So with the Gaza envelope in general, the towns and the kibbutzes, they all went to like different places. So this kibbutz went to Tel Aviv, this kibbutz went south to Eilat, this kibbutz went to Jerusalem. And Sderot specifically was really all over the country with many hotels, because like a small community can be fitted into one hotel, but Sderot is like a mass amount of people. You cannot like host them all in one hotel. So I had friends who were closer to me, friends who were further from me, also friends who didn't get evacuated, who were not considered part of the Gaza envelope, and like they were safe being staying in the south. So the school was dealing with this situation where all of your students are all over the country, and the way to navigate that challenge is hard. So what me and my parents decided together, that it would be like more, it will be better for me to join a different school that's in central Israel, that is not facing such a challenge, that that have like a normal routine, basically. And I believe it was good for me to be like in a normal school with a normal routine, getting into standards that a normal student needs to face right now.
And we know today that you haven't came back to, your family haven't came back to Sderot ever since. But when you started this school around Kibbutz Einat,
Yeah.
did you thought you would never go back to Sderot again?
So no, I really, really came there like with thinking like this is not permanent. I didn't really want like to get a friend group there even. I thought that I will maybe do there like 3 days a week. Like that was the mindset I came into the school with. Later on, after a few months, I knew that I would stay there for the entire year. But also at some point, many people came back to the Gaza envelope. Sderot was the first to go back to the Gaza envelope because the country, it's hard to hold an entire city like in hotels and with support by them.
The government was funding this relocation to hotels,
Yeah.
and in certain point they stopped funding it.
Yeah, exactly. The way they did it, they just said that schools and kindergartens are opening in Sderot. We are not funding the schools. If you are in something like that in a hotel, it will just stop. If you want your children to go to school, you should go back to Sderot. That was like.
And did you
the
have
method.
friends that got back to school?
Yeah, I had friends that got back into this high school. Other friends of mine who were not from Sderot, who were from other kibbutzim, they stayed they also enlisted in like different schools around their area, but they all came back by the end of that year, by the end of junior year. And then when we reached the point between my junior year and my senior year, my parents debated, also like the lease with the apartment in the kibbutz also were going to end. So they thought about where will they get another apartment. Will it be like more in the south of Israel? Will we stay in the central Israel? Maybe go to north, like to my grandparents. But my parents decided that I will stay in this school that I enlisted to, and that I will get my senior year there. I didn't agree with them. I wanted to graduate with my friends that I learned with them from, like from first grade. And I didn't really want like to finish in this school, even though like I got there great. Like I had great teachers there, and I got great friends that I met there that I'm very grateful for, because like it's not so obvious for like a group of teenagers or 16 years old to just like get this other person into their like close friend group. So I'm very grateful for that. But I did want like to go back to my own school and to my own friends. So I didn't agree with them at first, but I do think that it was a good decision for me, because a school that was evacuated and then got back, the challenges that they can face, also like the population, like the entire all of the students were dealing with difficulties or a trauma or something like that. So the school was facing many challenges that I believe was good for me to go into a school that did not face those challenges, as I said, and that was getting ready. All of the students are getting ready for their diploma. So this routine for me, and even this like pressure for me to get the diploma, even in a place that is not cannot like really understand what to do with this person that like was evacuated, didn't learn for 2 months. I think that was like a good thing for me.
That not all your school was built from evacuated people. You were basically
exactly.
the only one there.
Yes, exactly.
So you had like kind of a normal high school because you went to school with normal kids that was not evacuated from their home. And this is a way you could have had like more so of a normal high school experience.
Yes, exactly. One like thing I did had to like handle was because I stayed in that school and didn't go back to Sderot in that high school. The country did not say that I was an evacuated anymore, and I did not get the benefits that people who were evacuated got. So whether it's I had to take the full math test who my friends from that school did not had to take, like my friends from the Gaza envelope, or getting some subjects that I had to learn but I couldn't learn, like
so
those.
It was complex. It wasn't all like great, but it was. But at the end of the day, I think that was a good decision.
I agree. I think that doing those subjects, even learning things I were not supposed to learn if I was like an evacuated person, it did do good. It just like, it put me under more pressure than I think I should have been. But at the end of the day, I also like, it got sorted out and I got like the title of an evacuated back. And at the end of the day, I got my diploma. I'm very proud of it. But yeah, I took that challenge and I got over it.
I'm so happy to hear that. And today you're here in Long Island on this gap year, Shnat Shirut, but your parents still live outside of Sderot, right? They still live in Matan at the center of Israel.
Yes, so we decided to move from Kibbutz Einat to the town called Matan. My parents work from home, so it's not really a problem of whether or not they should go to work, not go to work, because like they're sorted out in that way. And they are still debating whether or not they should go back to Sderot, go somewhere else, even now.
Okay, but do you think that today Sderot is a safe place to live? Would you want to go back to Sderot?
I believe that Sderot is, of course, different from before October 7th. It's not going to look like it was before. I don't believe people will tolerate anymore like operation and then it's peaceful and then there's operation again. Like, I don't believe it will be tolerated anymore.
So it sounds like it's going to be a good place to live in.
God willing. Right now, because hopefully now it's like a current ceasefire, but like those 2 years, it was like a bit more calm than like being constantly like in and out of the bomb shelter every operation. But there's still, I'll say, like one missile every week with code red.
Up until today?
Up until today, yes. Even after October 7th, I think I was in like 2 situations where I was visiting Sderot and there was a code red. I was in the bomb shelter, I think 2 times because of that code red in Sderot. So it's still like not a very quiet place today. And also like, because it's so close to the Gaza Strip, you can hear everything. Every time Hamas is attacking in the Gaza Strip, the people in Sderot can hear it and they can hear it loud.
So you feel that currently you would not want to go back to this kind of situation.
Yes, I believe that right now it's not a situation where it's possible to live in Sderot. I appreciate the people who do live there right now, and like the city is full on back, like people live there. But I do believe like it's not what it used to be. It's not peaceful right now. But I also believe like it's not a peaceful situation right now in Israel. Like even if I was in central Israel, it's not that we escaped all of the alarms and all of the missiles, not even from Gaza. It was also from Lebanon and also from Iran. Actually, fun thing, with the war in Iran, Sderot was like one of the places with the fewest alarms to be in.
So
it was like upside down.
Yeah, exactly, upside down. So you're describing a very complicated situation, which I think that many of the people in Israel feel right now. And it doesn't matter if you live in Sderot or the center of Israel or the north of Israel. I think that October 7 really changed something in our mind.
Yes.
And it made living in Israel a bit more complex. But this is also the idea of this podcast, to show the real stories of real people and how it's like to really be an Israeli today. So thank you so much for coming here and sharing your story. I think it's so important to hear that. Before we finish, I'm going to ask you for a really short question. Please just say whatever that comes to your mind. Okay. So would you rather have New York cheesecake or this home crumble cheesecake that you usually have for Shavuot?
I'm lactose intolerant. So I guess I would love both and then I will regret both. I don't see much difference.
Okay. So you know what? Halloween or Purim?
Oh, Purim, 100%. It's scary, Halloween. Purim is nice. It's
I agree.
Good vibes.
I agree. What is the one thing that you miss the most in Israel?
My dog and my cat.
Really?
My children.
And what is the one thing that Israelis needs to learn from Americans?
To stand in line and to be more calm when they're in their day-to-day life.
I agree on that. I partially agree, I would say. Okay, so I believe that's it. So we're finishing this episode. This is actually the second episode out of 2. I urge you to go back and listen to this 2 episodes. I think it was a fascinating conversation about living in Sderot and what happened on October 7 and after. And if Aviv's story was interesting to you and the entire delegation is interesting to you, you're more than welcome to learn more and go to our CFI director at sjjcc.org for more information. And in general, I welcome you to listen to all the episodes of the Israeli Bond on hmTv and all the other podcasts here on hmTV. Please subscribe, share, and let us know. Share the love and let us know how much you love us. And so this is our episode for today. Until next time, take care and be well.